Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and I'm here to bring you guys a new Naruto Manga 657 prediction. Now, before I get started, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to anyone out there who's watching this on Thanksgiving, and if you're watching this after Thanksgiving, I want to say have a great day, which is probably more likely for a majority of you that you're watching it after Thanksgiving due to the fact that I'm actually uploading this late at night on Thanksgiving. Another thing, I apologize for the crappy camera quality for this particular video, considering the fact that I'm actually doing this on my laptop instead of my camera due to the fact that I came home and I don't have my tripod with me. So I don't have anything to set my camera on. But anyway, let's jump on this week's Naruto chapter. Now, just to give a quick synopsis of it, as usual, beginning starts off with us seeing Obito. He's on the ground and he's thinking about the fact that Naruto's path, probably is the right path. So you see him having remorse for everything that he's done. And on top of that, we even got a little scene with Gar in this chapter, having a little bit of a talk between him and Shikaku. He's asking Shikaku for help. Shikaku's giving him back talk like, why should I help you? Ultimately, Shikaku decides, all right, I'm going to help you out, but only because of Naruto. And the tail beasts alongside Shikaku decide to help and suit to help Naruto out. On top of that, Obito decides, I want to go ahead and atone for everything I did, so I'm going to go ahead and do Rene Tensei. Kakashi doesn't feel like he needs to do that. He feels like, basically living on would help atone for his sins, which I would have to say I don't necessarily know. I mean, there's really no way to perfectly clean up what Obito's done. I am a believer as far as, obviously people should forgive you no matter how bad something may ultimately end up. But as far as, him mending everything and making everything better, I don't really see how he can really do that. Even if he did do Rene Tensei, he's done even more prior to the war than, that's destroyed a lot. I mean, not until Fox Tech, he can never take that back. So I don't know. I found that kind of interesting right there. Kakashi saying, what he said, Obito living on would really do something. And I would assume he most likely would be in prison for all that particular time, that he's actually stays alive, at least for the rest of his life. That's what I would think. Now, from that point forward, of course, we get scenes from Madara. And Madara, of course, he's, Hashirama's trying to seal him up. That's actually why Naruto was making the Rasen Shuriken, and he threw it at him. And that really didn't do anything. Madara, I don't know how he shrugged it off, but, I mean, it's Madara, so he probably used Susanoo or something. Hashirama's trying to seal him. It's not really working. But you just see Madara smirking. Like, no, man, this is not going to work. From that point forward, we see Madara's trump card come into play, which obviously I didn't know this was actually going to be the case, but I'm pretty sure everybody got it once we saw it. Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu shows up, grabs Obito, makes him perform Rene Tensei on Madara. Madara comes back to life. Madara thanks Naruto for obviously, helping him get this far and weakening up Obito. And then at the end of the chapter, he says he can finally fight at full force. And that pretty much was the cliffhanger. Now, as far as, the chapter within itself, as far as the everything that happened in like the pacing, I don't think this chapter was paced out that poorly. I think it was pretty decent as far as pacing goes. I mean, we handled. I feel like the Obito stuff kind of, needs to wrap up because I still feel like it's a little bit repetitive as far as what they're telling me. Like I feel like everything they've been saying hasn't really been too new. Like even the dialogue between, I guess, Obito and Kakashi. Like, I mean, it starts off with us seeing Obito talking about, maybe Naruto's path is the right way, or, I mean, he's said stuff along that lines before, so, I don't know, I don't think it really started off on the best note, but, well, at least with starting off with that particular line and seeing that as your first page, I don't really feel like that was all that great. But, further into the chapter, I feel like it progressed pretty well. The ending part of the chapter, I felt like obviously was really good and probably made the chapter, pretty decent in my opinion based on the ending. Now, it did raise a major question. In fact, there was another thing that was explained in the chapter that I almost forgot to mention. Obito surviving the Ten Tails extraction. Now, I know some people were probably wondering, is that an ass pull? Did Kishimoto just pull it, out of nowhere? I kind of feel like it makes some sense only because at first I was like, but then I thought about it, I was like, well, the Ghetto Maso has been shown to give off life-giving energy. That's actually how Zetsu was born from what I gather. Because we all know that Madara had the Ghetto Maso on top of the big flower statue that he has in his hideout. You know, we saw that's what he was actually attached to, which was keeping him alive that entire time. So I accepted. I'm like, all right, the Ghetto Maso is still in Obito's body, so I can actually see that being, you know, the reason for why Obito is able to continue to live. Because I mean, other than that, I mean, I was thinking Obito should have surely been dead, considering the fact that he had all that extracted out of him. But technically speaking, since he does have the Ghetto Maso still in him, maybe you could still consider him somewhat of a Jinchuriki. But the end of the chapter is probably the more important factor. Madara is mortal now. So it just makes you wonder, why the heck are you so excited? I mean, granted, okay, this is what you wanted this entire time. But now that I think about it, you have no way to technically become the Jinchuriki. I mean, I guess even with all the tail beasts rounded up right there, if Obito has the Ghetto Maso in his body, what can he actually do? Like, is he gonna somehow be able to retrieve it out of his body? Extract it from Obito's body, or is it gonna come out of Obito's body now that Obito's actually, pretty much about to die since he just used Rene Tensei, which it most likely will. With everybody on the battlefield, you have Hashirama there. You have, the other Hokages there. Yeah, the Kages don't matter much, but you have the entire Shinobi Alliance there. You have the Tail Beast there. I mean, you have Naruto there, Sasuke there. Granted, Madara is extremely powerful, but I'm thinking I don't see how Rene Tensei is like giving you a power boost. In fact, it almost makes you seem more vulnerable, which I think is going to technically be his downfall as far as how his vulnerability goes. I mean, obviously they're gonna end up ultimately killing him when they do finally defeat him, but there must be some kind of benefit that he gets. There must be some Renegon technique that maybe he couldn't use before because he was an Edo Tensei, but now he actually can use it because he actually has life. So maybe something along those lines. Maybe, which I've actually, I've thought about this probably, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Maybe he's actually going to go ahead and get the chakra fruit. I mean, I thought Sasuke possibly could get it as well. It may come between him and Sasuke, which is maybe how him and Sasuke are going to have a quick bout. But I think he's going to get that fruit, or Sasuke may get it. Who knows? But I think it's more likely for Madara, only due to the fact that I don't see what he can really do at this point, even as powerful as he is, unless he's been holding back some other secret techniques. And I mean, I do think he's been holding back in a sense, but not enough to sit up there and just overpower every single last person on that battlefield with ease. To be that confident about it. I mean, smirking the entire time. Just keep that in mind. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what Madara is going to actually do from here on out. I do like the fact that Kishimoto actually had Zetsu come in as the twist, because I thought Zetsu may have not necessarily been dead, but I thought that he pretty much was pinned down by Chojiro, but I guess that just shows that, hey, Zetsu, he's just waiting for a moment to strike. And it makes a lot of sense considering the fact that Black Zetsu is supposed to be Madara as well. Madara is half. So he really had no true intentions of really helping Obito. He always had intentions of always, obviously helping out Madara, which also makes me think, I wonder if Obito, even though Obito didn't plan on reviving Madara, if Black Zetsu was going to do anything at any point if Obito didn't actually go ahead and, or not Obito, but Kabuto didn't bring him back. Was Black Zetsu going to do anything to make sure that Madara ended up living on? Was he going to attempt anything, maybe when Obito wasn't looking? That's just something to think about. It shows that Madara did have something always there, something to watch over Obito just in case, that little kid didn't listen to him, if you get what I mean. As far as next week's chapter goes, I'm expecting some epic stuff. I mean, I'm expecting Madara to try to go for that fruit, but I'm expecting him to, I'm expecting it to kind of be somewhat like how when he first appeared. I'm not saying be on the same epic level, because obviously when Madara first appeared, we had no knowledge of what he could do or anything. But I'm expecting him to start going in, knocking people around, slicing Shinobi up, and maybe all to get to that fruit. Obviously they may not know where he's aiming for, but he has to get some power boost, unless he's been holding back something. That's all I'm trying to stretch out or, explain, is I can't see him being able to survive just alone on that. I mean, technically speaking, if this is it for him, then it's actually, like, based on what we've actually seen from him, then it's almost like he's been weakened in a way, because it's okay, now you don't have infinite chakra, now you can actually die, and on top of that, I don't think with EMS your manga kill techniques have a lot of drawbacks, but I mean, I'm assuming they're really chakra consuming, so I mean, obviously that's gonna take up a lot for him. And he, even though he has huge chakra reserves, I mean, he's gonna have to be a lot more careful than he was before. So obviously Madara has ulterior motives, which again I'm going for the whole fruit. You know, he's definitely probably going to get that fruit at the top of the tree from the Shinju. You know, I mean, I know for Neverworld actually stated in one of his videos that maybe that fruit actually already grew, which I'd have to agree. You know, I mean, a few videos ago I actually thought about that maybe since it did say once every millennium, although I thought it would probably be something that stands out a little bit more, like everybody would notice when it actually blooms. But maybe it's already up there somehow, or maybe Madara knows how to make the tree bloom the fruit. Maybe since the tree is there, there's some method that you can do to make the fruit come out of me. I don't know. I'm just making, I guess, some kind of. I don't really have much of a prediction I can make off of what Madara is going to do exactly. Other than that, I'm just kind of throwing it out there that I think that he may actually go ahead and figure out some means of being able to obtain the fruit. There's not really much else to actually draw from the chapter other than that. Gaara, on the other hand, I'm thinking maybe he's going to obviously do some ultimate jutsu with Shikaku. I mean, because he kind of hinted to that due to the fact that Shikaku said that he's going to help him with the whole I guess sand jutsu that he has prepared, or Shikaku said he's just going to go ahead and do it. But I'm assuming at some given point they're going to be buddy buddy. I mean, Shikaku's kind of pushing him away right now, but I'm pretty sure that they'll both learn, from Naruto, since they both like Naruto. Which I find it a bit funny that Shikaku does, because I mean Shikaku got his butt whooped by Naruto and Gamabunta way back whenever, but I guess Naruto ultimately did help save them. But in a sense, Gaara also helped save them too, because he pulled out his chakra. But that's besides the point. Pretty much my rating for this week's chapter is going to be Jonin level. And I'm sorry for all the rambling in this week's video, guys. If I rambled a little bit too much, again, I apologize. But definitely, been trying to think of different things that's going on in the chapter. Chapters just haven't been progressing all that much, just little by little. I feel like we've finally been getting to information that actually matters in the story, stuff that we really want to see, like Madara. So I mean, even though I think that the whole Gar scene with Shikaku was pretty cool, and obviously Obito doing the Rene Tensei was also something that needed to happen in order to bring Madara back. Some of the dialogue that Obito said, stuff that we've kind of gotten before. So obviously that's why I'm not giving this like a Kage level or, anything way higher than that. Jonin level was fine, because I don't think this was a horrible chapter, a poor chapter. I think it was pretty decent based on the cliffhanger and the dialogue with Gar. But and the Rene Tensei scene, obviously, and Zetsu being the whole trump card. But other than that, it was pretty good. I mean, I'm glad it's back, though. I'm glad Naruto's back. I expect a lot from it in the next coming weeks. I'm going to be probably a lot harder of a critic on it, only due to the fact that, we are coming to the end, so some stuff needs to start getting answered. Other than that, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And that's pretty much it. See ya.